Welcome back. In the last lecture, we have talked a lot about how you can test your assumptions with the help of the customer. And one of the great results of this exercise we have seen is you came away with a better understanding of your competition, at least what your customer is thinking about your competition and how it relates to your product. And of course, you have to know more about your competition than your customer does. So in this lecture, I'm going to suggest to you a few ways to think about the competition. And because I am, because I am focusing on the beginning product manager, it is very important for any beginning product manager to have the right set of thinking skills. Specific tactical steps are also very important, but I'm going to focus more on how you can develop a few good habits in thinking about the competition in a way that helps you think in a big picture sense, and also convert these good habits into a few tactical steps that you can use going forward. And the first rule of thinking about competition is that anytime you are thinking about competition, you're almost always thinking about differentiation. The way to think about differentiation is this. Differentiation actually happens in the mind of the customer. Obviously, you're going to do a lot to enhance your product's richness, features, and everything. But at the end of the day, it is what customer thinks during his or her decision-making process that this differentiation comes about. So let me put it to you in a more simpler way. If a customer is able to connect with you in ways that are way better than he or she is able to connect with the competition, then you have already achieved that differentiation in the customer's mind. And obviously, like I said, if a customer thinks that your product has differentiated itself better than the competitor's product, then you are going to win. And so that's the kind of thinking that I'm driving at. So let's peel this onion a little bit more. So when a customer thinks about you as a supplier, or you have some product that the customer is interested in, they're going to look at the ways they can relate to you in two different ways. One is, do they relate to your company at a higher level, but in a much more intimate level as well? Do they relate to your company along the lines of the following? Number one, is your company and their company are having consistent ideas about the market? Are you making them, the customer, a partner? Partner in the sense, not exactly a business partner, although that may not be out of question. But when I say partner, does your customer feel like, are you letting them have a say in the way you develop your product? And are you taking their words seriously, their feedback seriously in defining and developing your product? After all, customer by definition, they are the ones who are going to use your product. And so customer has, even though they may not say out this loud, but they are always going through this experience of in how many ways they are relating to you, and how your response is to their requests, and how fast is your execution from a company point of view. And so all these things will come together and make the decision makers or decision influencers on the customer side feel better or not better about you and your company. So this is the first level of relatedness that I'm talking about. And if you go down to a more lower level, there is a second level of relating or connecting happens, which is at the product level. Obviously, that is directly what you are dealing with. There are specific, tangible, measurable features and attributes of a product that the customer cares about. Performance, functionality, cost, if that's an issue. Cost means the price to customer, ease of use, and schedule, Are you making the product available to the customer in time when they expect it? And also, if it's a software or a user experience driven product, is your product able to relate to the actual user on the customer side, or they are able to relate to the product? So I think you get the point here. The point is that there are so many directions along which the customer is going to try and relate to you, either at the company's level or at the product level. And a good company, a good set of product managers, and a good team is able to realize this. And that's why when I said that the sales team always puts the relationship as the higher priority before they actually make the sale. So they are salespeople in this sense are focusing more on the how company relatedness happens in the minds of the customer. And so if you understand these specific relatedness ways, how customer does this, then you have a bigger picture of how you fare along with the competition in the minds of the customer. And once you get this picture, then you're going to be a lot more clearer in your head as to where you want to excel vis-a-vis your competition. And in general, as a product manager, what you want to do is you want to have some specific strategies on how you can execute on this relatedness number one, relatedness number two at the company level and at the product level. Again, I'm giving you a little bit of a thinking idea, so to speak. But in specific terms, if you at the company level, always work with the salespeople and go through your salespeople and work with the customer and make sure that they are involved. They are given updates to where your company is going and the new product ideas. Make them part of it, and everything else that I described before. You want to make them part of your product definition exercise. And when it comes to the product level of relatedness, one good thing is always that you can oftentimes you can have a conference call or a discussion with the product people on the customer side. And during those events, you put your product people, your development team together in the meeting and let them exchange ideas. And obviously your job is to protect your development team's time, because they are very important in terms of focusing on developing the product. But there's nothing more powerful than customer interacting directly with your developer, with you in the middle, and then your development team feels more empowered directly hearing from the customer as to what they want, how they want, and so forth. And so obviously this requires a lot of product management from your side, but these are the good habits, good thinking habits that you want to develop as a good, as a growing, skilled product manager. And so once again, during this process, it is good to be competitive and good to be paying a lot of attention to competition. But I would say that focus more on what your customer wants. Make sure customer is on your side, and try not to get too fixated on where the competition is going. I mean, you need to pay attention, but if you have a customer and if you know what they want, you'd rather spend your energies better if you focus on what the customer wants and delivering it, exceeding their expectation. And so in the next lecture, what I want to do is I want to talk about. So we talked about understanding competition, and I want to switch gears a little bit, and I want to talk about how you go to market, in the sense how you want to show up in the market, and when. So one refers to the positioning and how you reach the customer, and other refers to the market timing. And exactly, is it as straightforward as whenever you have a product ready, you're going to release it to the market? It's not exactly as straightforward as that. So I want to talk about a few planning stages and a few questions that you need to answer before you think you are ready to go to market. Okay, so I will see you in the next lecture. Okay, thank you.